Hello everybody, and welcome back to Pokemon White. So as you can see, we now in the last part, we defeated Chantal and Grimsley again. And now we shall see if we're definitely are good enough to defeat Caitlin and Marshall Marshall again. Now, I'm pretty sure, considering that we did talk to Marshall before going back to the Elite Four again. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he at least has some new dialogue for us. As for Caitlin, just like the other two, I forget. I honestly forget if she does. But let's see. Who's there? Who is so uncouth as to disturb my sleep? It's you again. Oh, okay, yeah, so she does have the dialogue this time. Still, you possess that combination of kindness and strength. Yet, you seem stronger than before. Don't be sure not to bore me with a snooze-inducing battle. Is that clear? Well, that is if we don't take too long to beat you, that is. But anyways, let's do this again, Caitlin. Now, this time, instead of starting off with her Reuniqueless, this time she starts off with her Musharna. Now, her Musharna still has the ability Synchronize, and this time, her Musharna has the moves Psychic, Hypnosis, Dream Meter, and Reflect. Now, as you can tell, her Musharna, unlike last time where her Musharna was more so about attacking, now her Musharna is essentially what the majority of the Musharnas currently do, where they essentially like to utilize the ability Hypnosis and Dream Meter combo. Yeah. And she can also utilize the Reflect too, like as you are asleep too. So that's something you have to be on the lookout for. And then as for her Reuniqueless, that apparently she decided to switch to, considering apparently none of her attacks were really gonna do much to Crocodile, I guess. But anyways, now her Reuniqueless still has the ability Magic Guard. And I'm pretty sure it has the exact same moveset as it had last time. That being Psychic, Thunder, Energy Ball, and Focus Blast. So honestly, nothing's really changed about her Reuniqueless, really. Now as for her Sigilyph, once again, it has the ability Wonder Skin, and it has the moves Air Slash, Psychic, Ice Beam. And this time, instead of Shadow Ball, instead it has Flash Cannon. So now her Sigilyph now has an attack move that can actually defend itself up against like Ice type, any of those Ice types. But anyways, now for our next Pokemon is actually a Metagross, who is actually now her new strongest Pokemon on her team. Yeah, apparently so. I get why, considering that Metagross is a pseudo-legendary. But come on, why not just keep her Gothitelle as her strongest? But I guess not. But anyways, everyone, as you can see as well, now Metagross here definitely has got itself a brand new sprite too. But anyways, now for her Metagross, it had the ability Clear Body, and it had the moves Z-Headbutt, Bullet Punch, Earthquake, and Giga Impact. So Metagross can definitely bring in a lot of power with essentially all of its moves. And if it really wants to go first, it can then just easily utilize that Bullet Punch instead. But anyways, now as for her other new Pokemon, that being a Bronzong. Yeah, as you saw, yeah, now, her Bronzong has the ability to levitate. So, for those of you who are utilizing any fire types on it, yeah, you could definitely get yourself a good advantage up against this Bronzong. But anyways, now for Bronzong's moves, it has Payback, Flash Cannon, Psychic, and Charge Beam. So yeah, so essentially not only can it weaken your special defense with not only Psychic and Flash Cannon, but it can also raise its own. But it can also raise its own special attack with Charge Beam. So yeah, essentially definitely be on the lookout for that. And lastly, for her Galvatao, who is now not her strongest anymore. Now it still has the ability Frisk, and it has to move Psychic, Payback, Flatter, and Thunderbolt. So yeah, Galvatao doesn't exactly have the strong moves as it had before, but instead it will most likely utilize that Flatter move. To confuse you first, so that it can definitely utilize either Thunderbolt or even Psychic to be able to defeat you. Yeah, and with that shall be what I'll be covering when it comes to her team. Alright, now let's see if we can defeat her Musharno, who she keeps on freaking switching now. Yeah, considering that her Psychic cannot do anything to my Crocodile. But she can still utilize Hypnosis to put him to sleep. Yep, just like that. And if Caitlin is smart enough, then she might be able to put up that Reflect. Which, honestly, I think she should have done from the... Honestly, I think which is what she should have done from the get-go. Like that. Yeah, other than just her constantly just switching, other than just her constantly switching out her Musharna. Yeah, then she could have had a much more better advantage. Then she could have had a much more better advantage. Yeah, considering that I did use physical moves on Nicholas, Galvatao. Or essentially, yeah, since I was essentially using my physical attacks on the majority of her Pokemon anyway. So yeah, again, Caitlin, why didn't you? Yeah, I guess she was thinking that the hypnosis was not gonna work. I guess, but at the same time, she could have at least tried. She could have at least tried earlier instead of just constantly switching. But anyways, that should be enough about that. But anyways, nice to get everybody fully healed up. Alright, 3 down, 1 to go. Alright, now let's go see our boy Marshall again. Alright, now we shall see how... Now, considering now, I'm pretty sure last time we fought him, we definitely had a very decent time against him. Yeah, I'm pretty sure last time we fought the Elite Four, yeah, I think I said that Marshall was the easiest one to defeat. Yeah, considering that for the majority of the battle, I was using my Sigilyph, and with the fact that I was lucky with burning his throat with my Emboar. So yeah, we definitely had a very easy time with him last time, but we shall see how he plays out this time. I thank you deeply for the chance for another round of combat against you. In myself, I seek to develop the strength of a fighter, and shatter any weakness in myself. Oh, I bet you do. Prevailing with the force of my convictions. Victory. Desired victory is my intention. Challenger, here I come. Yes, I bet indeed you will. I still love this. Yeah, I still love this. Yeah, I still love this music. But anyways, now Marshall this time starts off with a Breloom. Now, as you can see, his Breloom, as you can see, Breloom here has definitely got himself a brand new sprite. Where it constantly really likes to hop around a lot. Yeah, yeah. And it does like a little bit more of a tiny ass jump. Yeah, but anyways, now for his Breloom, it has the ability Effect Spore. It has the moves Mach Punch, Spore, Grass Knot, and Sky Uppercut. So essentially, if the Effect Spore does not work, since the Effect Spore does not work all the time, yeah, he could definitely use Breloom's moves Spore to be able to put you to sleep. Yeah, and then he could just utilize that Sky Uppercut to be able to do some very good, very good hit damage on you. But anyways, now as for Sock, now once again, it has the ability Sturdy, it has, oh wow! Semi-Sage, way to hang in there like a champ! Jeez, Semi-Sage, way to freaking hang in there, man! But anyways, as I was saying, Fro has the moves Close Combat, Retaliate, Stone Edge, and the Poison Jab. Which, I honestly thought that his Sonic was going to be utilizing that Poison Jab on my Semi-Sage. Considering, you know, since Poison is stronger against Grass. But I guess he wanted to go for the more stronger attack, I guess. But anyways, now for his Mienshao, who is now no longer his strongest Pokemon this time as well. Yeah, I don't get why sometimes they just constantly change their strongest teammates and whatnot. Yeah, but anyways, now for his Mienshao, it has the ability Inner Focus, it has the moves High Jump Kick, U-Turn, Acrobatics, and Fake Out. So yeah, I don't get why Mienshao did not go for the Fake Out to start with. Yeah, I don't know why Mienshao didn't even bother with that. Yeah, but anyways, now for his Conkeldurr, who is now his strongest Pokemon this time. Now it has the ability Shield Force, it has the moves Hammer Arm, Earthquake, Stone Edge, and Payback. So essentially, he's just about as your typical. He's just about the same as any other Conkeldurrs, as to any Conkeldurrs that we've seen before. But anyways, now for his Fro. And once again, it has the ability Guts, and has to move. It has the moves Super Power, Retaliate, Earthquake, and her Grass Knot. So once again, yeah, Fro is definitely got your typical basic moves that you could possibly get. Although I think his I'm not sure if he had Grass Knot or not before. Honestly, I forget. But anyways, Nazra's final Pokemon, Toxicroak! Yeah, sorry, once again, I just had to do that because it's Toxicroak. But anyways, a Toxicroak, now Toxicroak here, has the ability, Anticipation, and it has the moves Toxic, Venoshock, Low Sweep, and Earthquake. So yeah, it can definitely get that poison off with Toxic, and then it can definitely do more damage with that Venoshock, and it can definitely slow you down with that Low Sweep. And then as for that Earthquake, it won't be that much good up against flying types at all. So it's only really good if he's up against maybe electric types and maybe rock types. But considering that he has Low Sweep, honestly, I don't get why that Toxicroak has Earthquake for the most part. Yeah, honestly, I just don't get why. But anyways, everyone, now as you saw for that Toxicroak, now as for the sprite of Toxicroak in Gen 5, he essentially has the same sprite from Toxicroak essentially has the same sprite from Diamond from a Diamond and Pearl. So never really all that major change between Diamond and Pearl and Gen 5. Well, obviously, aside from the obvious animations and whatnot. But anyways, now with all the members of Elite Four defeated again, this time we are actually going to be facing up against the actual champion this time around. Yeah, nothing on that storyline to go through after this. But anyways, everyone, with that said, that's what I'm going to do with this part. And so, we're going to get to a champion battle for the next one. And so, till then, I'll see you guys next time.